Somewhere in the Greater Bern area, around 100 experts and specialists from Swiss Rescue are taking part in a simulated training exercise. The scenario: a major earthquake in a densely populated region. All Swiss Rescue partners are involved in this 4-day exercise, including the Swiss Humanitarian Aid Unit, the rescue troops of the Swiss Army, the Swiss Disaster Dog Association and the Swiss Red Cross. At 11:11 on the morning of the 17th of November 2008, the fictitious Republic of Turkestan was rocked by a near-surface earthquake with a magnitude of 6.9. Within a matter of minutes, the Swiss Seismological Service has alerted the Swiss Humanitarian Aid's duty officer in charge in Bern. After an initial assessment of the situation, he contacts the Swiss Humanitarian Aid's Emergency Operations Center. Given the seriousness of the situation, the Emergency Operations Center decides to convene a meeting. The EOC is a steering instrument of Swiss humanitarian aid and has been ISO 9001 certified since 2007. When an earthquake strikes, its job is to plan and manage the deployment of Swiss Rescue. Members of the Emergency Operations Center also include public relations and information officers, administrative personnel, and a representative from the Ministry of Defense. Based on the thorough situation assessment, the operation leader, together with the head of the humanitarian aid, decides to dispatch Swiss Rescue to Turkestan. Transport and special flights are immediately organized by the two partners, Swiss and Rega. The material needed for the Swiss Rescue mission is made ready. During this time, the personnel for the rescue mission are being mobilized. Some are seconded from the Swiss Humanitarian Aid Unit SHA. It is made up of a wide range of professionals who, besides their normal work, are specially trained for this type of emergency mission and can be deployed within a short time. While Swiss Rescue is being mobilized back at the central warehouse in Waben, all the material and equipment needed for the mission is being prepared and checked, ready for dispatch to the scene. At full strength, 103 personnel, 18 dogs and 16 tons of equipment, such as logistics, rescue and medical equipment, not to mention clothing and supplies for Swiss Rescue personnel, can be sent to the disaster site. By early morning, the transport is on its way. Already a couple of hours earlier, the 10 people who make up the advance squad had gathered at the airport. Once they've been briefed, Rega will fly them to the area of operation. Within a few hours of the alarm being raised in Switzerland, the advance detachment arrives in the quake-hit region of Turkestan. Here they are met and briefed by local authorities. The role of the advance detachment is to create favourable conditions for the subsequent Swiss Rescue mission.
We immediately contact LEMA, the local emergency management authorities, to identify the needs and how to best deploy the Swiss Rescue team.
The first search teams arrive on the scene to locate the victims and assist local rescue teams. Within the first hours after an earthquake, the victims' chances of survival are the best. Meanwhile, the head of support, together with the local authorities, identifies a suitable site for the team's base of operations. In Switzerland, the necessary preparations and plans to dispatch the Swiss Rescue mission team are concluded. Besides civilian specialists, Swiss Rescue also counts rescue troops of the Swiss Army among its members. These troops have been specially trained for this type of mission and can be directly seconded from military service. At Zurich Airport, both the civilian and military members of the team are receiving the equipment for the mission. From this point onwards, it is impossible for an outsider to tell the difference between the civilians and the non-civilians. 12 hours after the decision is made to mobilize Swiss Rescue, the mission team is ready for takeoff from Zurich Airport. Back at the scene, work to identify the main damage sites is still in full swing. In the meantime, the Swiss Rescue Team, with their equipment, have been flown by wide-body aircraft to the scene and have arrived at the base of operations.
Sachez que la situation est difficile pour les autorités ici actuellement.
As team leader, it's my job to manage the Swiss Rescue mission on the ground. Swiss Rescue is made up of three elements. First, there's management, in charge of the overall running of the mission, and who liaise with our partners on the scene. The second element is operations, made up of the search and rescue teams, who are also responsible for providing victims with emergency first aid. And finally, there's support, providing the team with food and shelter.
The team's first job is to transport the rescue equipment to the scene of the disaster and to launch the rescue mission. During this time, the base of operations is being set up. Tents are erected to house the operations centre, communications, medical unit, kitchen facilities, dorms and sanitary facilities to be used by the 103 members of the Swiss Rescue Team. The search and rescue teams are sent to 2 damaged sites where they work in shifts around the clock.
We arrived here yesterday evening and have worked right through the night. From the word go, we immediately got down to work and spent the whole time at the scene. In that time, we managed to rescue 5 people and to complete our mission. Our leader then told us to rest and to report back to him again at 5:30 this evening, when we'd receive details of our next deployment.
While the night shift is getting some well-earned rest, the relief shift is already hard at work. The search teams use not only dogs, but also an array of technical equipment to locate victims, including probe cameras and special listening devices.
Retour. Ouais, c'est bon, c'est bon. Oui, c'est bon, comme ça, c'est mieux. Ouais, on le tient, c'est bon.
Sometimes local residents may hamper search and rescue efforts. It is therefore important to show empathy, yet remain determined, doing what is possible to ensure that the cultural sensitivities of the affected population are not offended.
You will not go on the debris.
Yeah, but we like to help.
A report comes in via radio that there is a gas leak in a silo. Swiss Rescue has specialists who can assess the risks posed by gases, explosive mixtures and even radiation. From this tent, UN representatives work closely with the local authorities to coordinate the efforts of the various international rescue teams on the ground. A member of Swiss Rescue also participates in this task. To ensure that the search and rescue team can work efficiently, despite the adverse conditions, the smooth running of all the processes and the mission infrastructure is vital. Swiss Rescue have their own radio network, medical staff to treat their personnel, a storage depot and, last but by no means least, their own catering facilities. A warm meal after a cold, long night can work wonders. The team leader regularly holds meetings with his team in the management tent. Here they analyse the situation and define what the next steps in the mission should be. While the rescue efforts are underway, a specialist of the humanitarian aid team carries out a needs assessment to continue to help the affected population even after the rescue mission team has left.